Hello and welcome to Intuitive Clarifications with Natasha. I am here to assist you in your life's journey and remembering that your truth is your truth. I am just somebody who brings in some understandings and wisdom that may help you to walk forward. And boy, are we in a definite moment because the new moon is today. Now, anything I'm talking about today can be used at any time. So it's just not about this Mercury retrograde, about this equinox, about this new moon, but it's about how can we negotiate a lot of this stuff that we're going through right now. Because this is a week, this equinox energy is about pulling us through. And we are going through some major planetary shifts right now. And that's going to be specific. But the specificness is about how are we going to negotiate getting through what we're doing? Because I know for me right now that it's almost like the things that are happening back in Washington, D.C., not political, don't want to talk about politicals, but at the same time, it's about, the what it's a great example. I'm just going to use it that way. That it's almost like a movie going on because it's not affecting me. It's almost like a movie. And that movie is not something that I wish for. I send prayers to it. I send love to it. I send, God, I wish it would be so different in all dimensions that I can say, right? And that's what I've been adding on is in any dimension and any reality that this is happening in, that there's healing on this. Because right now we are in this negotiation of I don't know if you, but for me, in the intuition that I have and the understanding I have and the vision I have, and I know I don't speak of this as very much because of the fact that, I really try to help people go through that 3D world of emotions and story and that kind of stuff. But I have this understanding of boldness, right? And it's like when I look outside, I see these different layers of different dimensions. I see these different understandings of different dimensions. And so, and like the other day, I was standing in the kitchen and I swear my dog walked on the other side of the counter because there was this thing and it stood probably about yay tall. It was on legs and it looked like a dog, but it wasn't a dog. But it was a dog, right? But it was another dimension that was walking through. So, and then there was other things going on that day because that was part of the dimensional shift that I was going through, witnessing in that reality. And so as we're going forward, if you start seeing things out of the corner of your eye, if you start seeing things like that, remembering that that is part of this dimensional shift that we're going through right now. This equinox is like, it's one of the key points, this timeline that we're going through right now, that Pluto's in a fixed sign of Aquarius. We're going through some of these planetary shifts that haven't been going through since the thousands of years ago. And the last time that Pluto, from what I understand from astrologers, last time it was in a fixed sign was World War II. And we're going through those layers of every so many years. I don't know if you've heard this on some of the social media, but every, what is it, 80, 75 years or 85 years, something in that category, that there's a war that has happened, right? So we're going through these, repeats of stories. And sometimes it is a repeat of government resets. Sometimes it's part of the astrology, planetary shifts that are triggering these differences of opinions, right? And I know for me, I work at elementary school and, in the morning, keeping my feet in the realities of the 3D world, what's a better place than submerged in the kid world, right? And I had this conversation because there was this group of kids that were like, well, he did this and she did that and they did this and they did that and we did this and we did that. And, it was amazing how in that moment I really understood and I got some things, and it was like, I just love how intuitionally these words just come out of my mouth, right? And there's these moments where we're in these dances of these Mercury in retrograde, planetary new moon energy shifts that happen, that we get triggered, right? We get triggered into these old stories. We get triggered into these realities. And that's the thing that about life right now is that we're rethinking, re-putting through, re-understanding, and that's one thing that this Mercury in retrograde, I don't know how many conversations I've had with people who truly don't know who I am in the spiritual counseling that I do, because I don't want to push my belief on anybody. But I've really had to have those conversations about how does your old story, it's like, let's push the reset button. Let's say that this story has a new idea. How can we negotiate these new understandings? And like for me, I'm having my 35-year marriage anniversary. Whew, talk about going through, having to reset the button, right? Push the button. And anybody who knows what I've gone through in my relationship, Veronica, that that reset button has been a blessing. And I got this image today, and I actually am doing a 2-minute video on it, that it was amazing how um that right now we are witnessing so much. Thank you, Veronica. So much about how, like, and this is the image I got when I was kind of, I don't want to say breaking up a fight. I was breaking up a fight, but I didn't want to bring it to the principal because it was about emotions. Well, any fight's about emotions, but you know what I mean, that I didn't want to go to that next layer and get them in trouble, even though we have, oh my gosh, our school is so much about let's communicate about this, right? I've been really pushing the button for at least one of our principals. We got to communicate deeper. We got to communicate more. We got to communicate. The communication piece is all about who we are, because this is the image I got today, that something starts, and this is a metaphor. Something starts, and it's a small little rock, right? It's a small little rock. This little incident that happens, it's a small little rock, this incident. And then somebody says something about that incident, and it's a bigger rock. And then somebody else, and then whoever, and then there's another rock that gets said, and then another rock gets said, and another rock gets said, and the pile gets bigger because the rocks get bigger, right? And then that little rock, that thing that started everything, the thing that started everything. And it could be something in our childhood. It could be something in our mental scenario. It could be something that we ate that didn't agree with us. It could be something that we believe in. It could be an old belief. It could be whatever is that old thing, that little rock at the beginning of our story, right? It could be something we heard in the womb, even. That little rock. Oh my gosh, this was a huge metaphor. And actually, I talked to our counselor at school, and she goes, "Can I borrow that?" I love that, right? That little rock. That little rock. And so by the time you get done with a lot of these emotions and these stories and these understandings and this reality of things, like this big reality of things, and this is what Mercury in retrograde is wanting us to do, is rethink, re-understand, re-know, right? And this equinox is asking us to move through a lot of these old stories. And this new moon is saying, I think new about this. Oh, what an amazing thought I had about this, right? That this little rock, that at some point in time, we have to be willing to clear off all those rocks, right? Clear off all those rocks and look at the one that started our whole story, about why we believe in something, why we hold on to this trigger, why do we hold on to this emotional base, why do we hold on to this energy field, right? And that's the piece of things that sometimes we have to. And you can see that in the governments. Oh my gosh, we're repeating some of these old stories over and over again because nobody wants to look underneath all those rocks to find that little rock that started everything, which is basically, well, I wanted to do this, and right? And like today's story was, somebody was noisy at this other group, and this one kid in this group was going shh 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 shh, right? And this other group was prickly because the one kid honestly said, I was already in tears today. I was already having a problem today, this morning, right? And so that morning story, so this person was already prickly. So when somebody was going, shh, 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 even as simple as that is, was the tiny little rock that started up, that festered at lunch recess. Luckily, it festered that fast, so there wasn't a huge pile of rocks because it wasn't something that happened at age 3 that happened at, and then we get to the end of understanding that at 56, right? So, can you imagine all the rocks by the time we get to our older age that are on that little rock? So this dimensional shift that we're going through right now, this one for us to level into our more loving self. I did a show last week on divine love and how it can heal. I've done other shows right before that that is lining us up to this understanding. I didn't see the bigger picture of that. Now I am. What the universe asked me to talk about has been the lead up to this week of understanding that we are greater than our circumstances. We are greater than our stories. We are greater than our emphasis of who we are. My rock pile is like a great wall of China. Oh my gosh, Paula. Oh, isn't that amazing? Now, do I say that that little rock is something that can't have, do you know how many flowers? I want to cry about this. How many flowers bloom out of crevices that have little spaces? Can you imagine what if we change our perspective? This is how deep it is. If we change our perspective on that little rock from drama trauma to, oh, that's who you are. That's the key that started me thinking about how to change my world. That key that started us to change our world. How does that rock pile look now? How does that rock pile look now? And the wall of China, Paula, wow, is a testament of how putting rocks together can build a great wall of keeping yourself amazed. And now look at that wall. It's honored, it's represented. Yes, it was to keep people out. It was keeping people in. It was. But change the perception of that, Paula. It's not the bad wall of China of keeping things out or keeping things in. It's about building so that you can stand on top of it and say, I have a different vision. I have a different vision. Change the perspective of wherever you're at, whatever you have a knowing of, change that perspective. Boy, I have a pile of rocks now that I can see a different perspective. That's the piece I need to add on for those kids at school. I have a different perspective. Because as we walk through this tube, I'm going to call it this, like it's like a car wash going through this equinox. It's like it's a leveling into a new understanding going into this equinox, every solstice, every is a doorway into another perspective and understanding. This one is huge this year. This year, I always knew that 2025 was a setup for 2026. 26 is the setup for 27, and then 28 should be the year that we kind of go, oh, that's what I'm getting intuitively. But we have to ride the ride. We have to negotiate the story. We have to be, right? Just like this year, my husband and I have both had a year of the snake. We both had the year of the 9. year of the universe. We both had our second Saturn return. We both had this understanding, right? And we both had our 34th year, which is a 7. Now we're in the 1 year, both in the 1 year. We're in their second stage or third stage of our second Saturn return. We're in the year of the fire horse. We're in our 60th year of coming through, right? Our coming through our 60th year of living on this planet with the fire horse, which was the year that we were born. And we both are in our 35 year of marriage, the 8, the affinity sign, as above, as below, right? That sign of the gift, right? So do you know how many times we've already reset the button since the beginning of the year? Because that's what the universe is wanting us to do. Because we're rising up to our greater good. Now, does that mean that some things, are still in the negotiation? They're not brushed underneath the rug, but they are put on pause until we can process through more. And every time we need to recommunicate differently, my husband's electrical system, went fluey, and his basically, I love this metaphor. In his truck, there's two parts there's electrical system that's the brain of the truck, right? Well, the brain of his truck went, so he had to put a new part of his brain in. Whew, it's too personal, but what we went through at Christmas time and then at the beginning of the new year, I'm so grateful for that reset of the button. But what did I have to do? Natasha, pulled his truck towed his truck home and then to the mechanic. Now, my husband's an old mechanic, but he didn't know a lot about the electrical. It was above his pay grade. So we pulled it there. And then guess what? The toilet got a leak. Emotions, right? The clean water going into dirty water. The tank got a leak. What did we do? We had to communicate about that because we chose to do it together. And then now our sink has gotten a couple leaks in it. What do we have to do? Well, I know my husband, who I'm grateful that he has this understanding, right? The faucet got loose. We had to tighten it down. Ain't that a metaphor? We had to tighten down our understanding about our emotions and their triggers so that we can get a different perspective, right? So we're going through this re-understanding of who we are. So please understand that this is a different perspective. And manifesting, what are you saying? What are you believing in yourself? For me, that I'm actually having to not put myself back to sleep as I going into this this meditational moment. So as I wake up, I've actually been putting my phone away, not getting my phone because I want to get a different dopamine effect, right? So what I've been doing is that I've been waking up and I've just been saying I'm in the frequency of abundance and love, light, and amazingness. I'm in surrender, trust, and acceptance and proactive. In that proactiveness, can you please guide me to where I need to go, where I'm going to be? I say these weavings of things as I go forward. Let me be of service to those that will accept me. Let the abundance of myself and who I am go out so it can come back to me with paying clients that I can support and help and be with as I surrender to whoever is meant to be here with me. And that's the thing, is I spend a good 20 minutes, 25 minutes of doing that as I'm waking up out of sleep and coming into awakeness, because that is the greatest time for presenting your brain stem, your brain cells, your pituitary gland, your thymus, your third eye, whatever it is, to align to the frequencies that we're coming into. And I do the same thing. I try to do the same thing as I'm going to sleep. So going into this, that's how you can start getting into this new frequency that we're flowing into. And that frequency is just kind of a cliche word that we're walking into, but it is in alignment with the energies. And another thing that I said, oh my gosh, and I just felt a whole shift when I did this. I align with the energies of the now as I'm done with any blockages or resistance to moving forward into my new reality that I'm called and meant to be in, as I'm guided by the universe that I believe in of love. I'm done with the resistance. You know how many times I'm done with the resistance in all levels, all dimensions, all realities of my body, self, and I. My body, my soul, my mind, my emotions, my nervous system, my consciousness, we're all on the level of moving forward. So, how can you move forward into your new understanding? Whew, because we're doing it like it or not. Now, there's some people that are going to choose not to move on, and there's a doorway of people leaving us. And I've heard of another someone who does very big spiritual work, and sadly, her husband, who supports her in her doing her personal walk, has passed away. My love goes to them. You know, when you have a partner that does something whole hand in hand, who? But that's the thing is that I know I've done it by not by myself, but, through the years, I've had to do it more by myself because this is the first time in my marriage I actually said thank you to my husband because he's witnessing me. I love him. He's on a journey. He's on himself a journey, and he's awakening so much into his understanding, but he had to go through so many rabbit holes to get there. But the one thing that it gave me is that I can. What a gift of that. I'm not shaming or guilting him for what we've done in the past or who he's seen me as the past, because every time he's been my naysayer, it's straightened me up on my line that I need to go, that I'm meant to go on. It wakes me up. It gets me out of my comfort zone and shakes me up and says, get your butt moving, Natasha. That naysayer. So what in your life is naysaying you? Perspective. Change that perspective. What in your life is stopping you from being you? Now, there's some people who are on their, like my mother-in-law. I was talking with my mother-in-law today. Love her with all my love. She came into my life, and then my mom passed away and she became my mom, right? Don't talk to her enough. She's in her 80s. She's getting older. She's been a goer and a doer. She's had some health scenarios with her physical body. She's slowing down. That's the time in her life is that she's kind of slowing down. She doesn't want to. She doesn't want to. And I can tell you, I'm reaching a certain age where I'm having to look at myself in a different light. And I'm like going, but body, we have more to do. We have more to do. So come on. I'm asking for health in this. I'm guiding my health. And I can tell you, being one who's in the new frequency of motive or of manifesting, right? This manifesting. And it's not manifesting, it's just being in the frequency of allowing things to come to me without any friction or expectations. I'm allowing things to come to me. And if you didn't see my 2-minute video on this, you know what I manifested the other day? I went dancing on Friday night, and my husband to slow down, and I don't like it. Yeah, exactly, because we're all in this different stage, right? That, you know, this manifesting though, how can you now, if you're slowing down, how can you do it differently? That's what the universe is asking you to do. How can we do it differently? Like for me, my body doesn't want to run. It doesn't want to run. It doesn't want the pounding. You know what I've been doing? Vibration plate. The vibration plate. I have done a plank, standing on your hands and then on your toes. I've done a plank for almost a minute. Shoulders didn't really want to work. Now I can do it on my vibration plate for almost a minute. Hallelujah, right? Because I'm working with what I have instead of fighting against it, right? That is a swear word. I'm sorry if I'm swearing. I'm not trying to, right? But what can you do to negotiate what's going forward for you? And then look at what the universe is bringing to you. Going back to the story about dancing, right? Dancing. Oh, I love dancing. I love dancing. This was a magical night. My husband didn't want me to go and he's getting intuitive, so I listened. He didn't want me to go because he was afraid something was going to happen to me. Right? He lets me go. He's not holding me back, but he didn't want me to have any scenarios, right? So, what did I do that afternoon? Is I asked for protection. Please protect me. Please, hi. Yes, you're so right about the dimensions. Thank you. How are you doing, Bree? Thank you for being here. So I asked for protection. I asked for me to be protected and loved and have fun, and whatever I'm meant to learn and experience, let it be with my greater good, right? So what did I do? I drove, and I was pretty good driving, and then as I was getting on the freeway, where I get on the freeway, there's a police station, a state police station right there. Guess who got on the freeway right after me and drove behind me for a good 5-10 miles, right? It was a police officer in a police car. I let him go by because I'm not going to challenge him. I'm not going to challenge life. I'm not going to do my normal speed thing, right? He ended up pulling somebody over later. Then as I was driving further, there's another police car. Then as I got down closer because I dance at a casino. So it was at the casino that I was at. And there was a police car as I was driving the onto the reservation. And as I was parked, I parked where I was safe, and it was daylight. It was about 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock that I was getting there. So I felt pretty good. And I'm aware of myself, and I call in my dragons. I call in my protection as I'm walking too. That as I was walking in, I asked for a place to park that was close enough. So I did. And I walked in. Well, as I was walking in the door, there was 4 police officers, tribal police officers, that were helping somebody else. Had to walk right by them. Walked into where I was dancing, danced, then sat down, got my seat. Then guess what happened? I had this woman that walked in front, and I felt my soul and her soul start to talk, right? Being the intuitive I am, I felt that. And she stopped. She came back. She goes, "Are you by yourself?" And I said, "Yes." As she sat down, she goes, "Do you like people?" And I said, "Yes, I do." She goes, "I don't." I went, "Oh, okay." Guess what? It was an hour before the first band was on, which was a tribute band for Chicago. I like Chicago, but not too musical, too instrumental for me. But I like the band, and I needed to get there early because I like to get my place that I'm going. So we talked for that hour, and then she danced. She danced. I listened to music, and we did our thing. And then when that band was done, it's about an hour before the second band comes on. So the first band comes apart, and then breaks down, and then the new band sets up, and then we start dancing. So that hour we talked again. We exchanged numbers. We exchanged things. We talked for another, and it was so interesting how. And I need to text her because it's just time for me to text her again. And it was neat how we just had this magical moment, right? Protection. She talked about travels that she's done and that kind of stuff, knowing that she was a woman and she was safe. right? Then guess what? As I was walking out to go, I just felt I was done dancing at about just a little bit before noon, midnight. So I walked out. Guess what? There was 4 police officers standing outside as I asked the main hub if I can have an escort to my car. Now, the last time I had an escort, I had 2 security people walking me to my car, right? This time, this escort, I got driven to my car. And the police officers drove away as I was getting in the car, right? Protection. Then I got in my car. He made sure that I was safe in my car. As I was driving off the reservation, another police car. And then you know how many police cars I saw on the way home? Protection. So watch how you are manifesting. Watch how you are negotiating. Now, somebody could say, "Oh my gosh, there's a lot of police officers. Couldn't speed. I had to be careful. I almost got a ticket." I was not worried about that. I just said thank you. I said thank you because that is the point of understanding that we're going through right now. That we don't know how the universe is going to give it to us. But acceptance and the worthiness of gratitude is huge, right? It's the gratitude. Be grateful for that little piece of rock that started your whole journey of who you are. I know I am. And my rock consists of Friday the 13th for sure, protection, yes. I love that Friday the 13th. This usually is a magical day for me. Oh my gosh, I have so much magic on Friday the 13th. Now, it wasn't the easiest day ever, nor days ever right now, but it's a moment, right? It's a moment. And I know for me, that little rock that started my whole journey of who I am, or the other little rocks that started the journey, I am so grateful because I like who I am today. I love who I am today. I love the tools I have, the understanding, the wisdom that I have today. And I'm grateful because I can sure stand on that pile of rocks. Take out the ones I don't want, right? I take out the ones I don't want. And I make sure that the other ones are shored up so I can stand on top of that rock and get a really good perspective, because I can tell you that this spring, oh my gosh, what are you thinking? Here in Washington State, we're on the 3rd Pineapple Express. It's kind of like the fire hose water is coming towards us, right? So it's been raining this whole week. You know, I walked out today and I said, I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Now, I'm one that I have to stand out in the rain, stand underneath the covered area if it's raining and it's so loud. I mean, it's not easy when it rains at the elementary school I work at. But I can tell you that even though I was breaking up a fight today, it was a contradiction today, because I had to stand between some girls and some boys that were getting spring fever. And then I had to break up a kind of a disharmony conversation, right? That it was like, but I'm so grateful. I am so grateful that I have been able to negotiate what I know now because I have the tools. Even all that bucket of moments that I had with my relationship with my husband and the husband before and any relationship before, it made me who I am today. So Paula says 96 in the shade today in Arizona desert. Wow. Wow. May cooling come upon you, my dear. Because it wasn't as cold as it been up here, but it was a little chilly. It was a little chilly. Well, rain is damp. So negotiate what you can where you can. And remembering that if you're seeing things out of the corner of your eyes, if you're seeing this dimensional shift that you're going through, if you're seeing, oh my gosh, the creatures, the critters that, some of them are AI, right? Some of them are AI, but some of them aren't. Some of them aren't. And that understanding, just like I was on the radio this Sunday with Martha Nowak. And as she was talking about somebody who passed away and that, and the show and the radio just started, 3 adult deer ran. They were running, thrum, 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 and I heard them jump over our fence that was over here and then run to our front yard. 3 of them. Wow. There is a moment where life is happening around us, but we got to be gentle ourselves. We have to negotiate what's around us. Sometimes we have to scoot along. We have to scoot along the deer. We have to scoot along to get to where we can get to be where we're feeling safer in our nervous system. But talk to your nervous system and say that you're safe, you're safe, you're safe. This new understanding that we're going to, I'm done with the resistance nervous system so that we can move forward in our reality. And may cooling come upon those that are in heat. May warmth come to those that are in cold, right? Some of the other states are getting, feet of snow. We're having a lot of contradictions. The poles of the polarities of life, the north to the south, to the east to the west. The polarities are pulling apart so they can come back in a new understanding. So if your equilibrium's off, this bug that's going around is really getting people, voices are being negotiated, throats are being negotiated, that throat chakra, speaking our truth. How are we speaking our truth? I know for me, I've been using castor oil, across my face because I've been trying to deflame myself, and through my throat to open up my throat chakra so I can speak a truth that is meant to be here. Oh, you're good, Paula or Veronica. It's a moment where we're in that it's about resetting our understandings, not necessarily our belief system, but our understandings, our resistance levels, our insight levels. And we need to start including on all dimensions and realities, even if we don't believe in them, because that's the influence that's coming upon us now. So as you walk forward and into your understanding, as I just, for those watching the video, you didn't know that I did this on my, if you're listening to me on a podcast later, that I just put my necklace from behind my shirt that was tucked a little bit to in front of it so it's seen, right? This moss agate. Express who you are. Know that you are amazing. Believe in what you are. Enjoy your life as much as you can. Find wisdom in its grace. The police cars, right? Somebody could say, boy, that was a hard ride down because I had to watch everything. I was grateful. Change up what you think and who you are. It's time. It's time. It's time. And guess what time it is? I feel Mikkel is tapping on me. So Regan Forston was supposed to be on today, but he has a very full schedule. So he opted out to come April 15th. So that's when Regan Forston will be on again, which is actually perfect because this message was calling for me to say today. Didn't know how I was going to say it. I'm trusting my intuition, right? Thank you. Thank you, Dina. So, as my cat just walked in, hi, Rajamai. Hey, sweetie girl. How you doing? Hiya, girl. Hello, pretty girl. That, it's time for us to walk in the door in these new opportunities. So, here's Mikhail. Now, remembering if I channel, it's not necessary if you believe in it or not. If you Please listen to the words. I do stay a little bit, but yet at the same time, though, I'm more and more letting them take over, the ones that I trust. Um, Mikhail came to me as a star being, a member of the council of the star beings. So, like how Bashar comes in to help our planet, Mikhail is here to do the same thing, and he chose to come through me. Now, I just don't channel him, but he chose to come in because hopefully he'll talk a little bit about dimensions. I don't know. Hmm. So here he is. Hello, lovelies. You have come through a big time in your life's journey of presenting the wisdom that has been in your consciousness for a long time. This consciousness is awakening like a stone on the ground that finally becomes its truer nature. Like a plant, a seed that has been dormant for many years, but needed the fire to start its growth again. Some need water, some need fire, some need water, some need fertilizer, breath, wisdom. Remembering that as you go into your new understandings of this reality, that it is safe for your, as the word has come forward today, nervous system, your consciousness of your body. That is what your nervous system is the consciousness of your body. It's a consciousness of understanding that the wisdom that you have come forward, it has wanted to be allowed to be what it's needed to be, yet the vibration of many people's signature of their body style has been too loud. And the nervous system says, no, 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 no. As you walk into this new reality that you are, remember to include your nervous system. It is a consciousness of the soul. You have the higher self, which is the soul knowledge. Then you have your soul, and the consciousness of your nervous system is part of the vibration that runs in your soul's person. This consciousness is going to be awakened. So you may find that you may be fearful in your understanding. You may be fearful in what you come forward, but remembering, if you can, align yourself with this new place you're walking to. You may be slowing down, as you said, Veronica. Yet you may have different understandings in your reality, which are growing. You cannot have all for all to have. As something comes, something shifts. Not necessarily out, but it shifts. The body's frequency is coming into a new understanding. Even in my time, and even in my physicalness, as when it comes forward, I have to remember that it is a logistics. It is a knowing. It is a process of being part of this scenario. It will either speed me up or slow me down, but slowing down gives me time to think, migrate the understandings into a different timeline. Isn't that an interesting thought? That when you are thinking something, something comes from this point to this point, and point A to point B, but that point B is in a different timeline, which shifts up its whole different tension, intention, and wisdom. Be at home with yourself, be at home in your understandings, and love will be with you. As this dear one talked about love last week, it helped. That vibration of love is the one that comes from the consciousness of this world that you are in. Tap into that consciousness of love, the God, the goddess, the wisdom, the one who has set forward what you are meant to be, the one that has set forward what I am meant to be, the one that is set forward to everyone to be, the consciousness, the one of Joshua, the one of Mother, the one of understandings that came from different understandings of realities, the light workers of the angels, the light workers of the conscious of the galaxy consciousness. We are all here to support you on this planet Earth to arise into your new understanding. That is why, is the flat round or is it flat? Is the earth round or is it flat? It depends on where you're at. It depends on what it is. Perspective. It is what it's meant to be, where it is at. There are some places where it isn't, and there are some places where it is. That's why nobody has seen the bottom of the ocean. Is there a bottom? It is time for you to take the books that you have learned and reset them into an understanding of who you are. If you see something, know something, ask your nervous system, your gut surface, your understanding of your heart center, which is in between the gut and the heart center, to believe if it's true or not. There is a lot of truth out there, like the media. Do you believe your media? Do you believe your president? Do you believe in the other leaders around the world? That is up to you, not for me to say. But where does that truth sit in your vibration of your frequency? That is what's important right now, is for you to find your frequency, your understanding of your vibration that you walk at. And it is at the different levels of love. Doesn't mean that when you are at a lesser love point, and many of you have mates or friends that are at these different levels of love vibration. Think about how those are sitting for you to either experience a new understanding of your level of love. How can you love someone where they are at, or not work with them anymore because they do not align with you anymore? The wisdom that you are is going to be important, not the wisdom that you have, but the wisdom that you are, the walk that you are, the talk that you are, the one that you are. It is time for you to be the capital B-E, the one that you are, not the one that you know, the wisdom, the one that you are. It is really time for you to start walking your talk. That is part of this illness, is for you to step into your empowerment and say, I am here to be. I know I am to be. I feel I am to be. I am witnessing who I am to be. Be your inner light so you can be your inner gift to this world. That is the frequency and the understanding of this equinox new moon partnership of awakening. That is what a lot of these planets are awakening you into. What is the truth on your dimension, your reality, your story? The frequencies of the disharmony of this planet are on a different vibration that are sitting in a different understanding of what the awakening is. And believe me, there's more at play behind the scenes. This one has witnessed the powers to be are stepping back. They are not so boisterous in that energy field. They are learning the cause and effect of the realities. No more said, no more given. Time for you to do your personal evolution of your story. I am Mikkel, one who wants to walk with you, talk with you, be with you as you evolve on this planet. As you evolve on this planet, we evolve in our enlightenment. We are with you, you are with us, we are one, we are individual, we are together. So be. Whew. That's a journey. Oh, you're more than welcome. Wow, that was a journey. He's really out there, but yet he's not. Whew. Hmm. So, I am so sorry. I'm not going to be able to pull oracle cards for everybody tonight because of the fact that I have a meeting that I need to get to. And so I am going to pull Visions of the Soul. Visions of the Soul. They were this deck. I think I did these last week. And I got my dragon deck. I got one dragon involved with that. Make sure I have no other dragons in my deck. Okay. These are so pretty. Okay. You're more than welcome, Veronica. Thank you for being here all the time. I'm so grateful. Okay, so this is a card for everybody. And if you're listening later, you can go to my YouTube channel, Natasha Venter IC, if you want to see the vision of the card. Okay, what is it, universe of love, that you want to tell us? Okay, there's an, okay. Clear, 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 clear. Woo! Clear, 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 clear. What pops out? Ooh. And is there one more? Yes, the top card, okay? Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So we got crown chakra. Isn't that beautiful? Then we have journey of the cosmos of the soul. Journey to the cosmos of the soul. Wow, look at that alignment. And then birthing the new is the last card I was told to pull. So I will read these. Oop, don't spill the water. So number 7 was the crown chakra. So I will read that one first. Okay, so crown chakra. The color is white and violet. Element is ether. Gemstone is sapphire. The words, the keywords are alchemy, divinity, focus, creativity. Challenges are indecisive, lack of joy, melancholy, frustration, powerless, and fluidity or new aspects. Divinity, God's self. You are being of light, which also encompasses the shadow aspect that is a light exposed. Great wisdom and guidance lives within the shadows. Don't fear them or discard them. You are able to manifest great miracles in your life and the world when you acknowledge the divine self and recognize your immortality and the integral part you play in the cycle of all of Earth's and cosmos. Transition of your inner and outer worlds comes from the divine knowledge that you are one with the source and carry the alchemical codes to co-create with the universe. Wow. Isn't that amazing? Whew. Sorry, my reading is a little askewed. How appropriate, yes. And then number 18 is the journey of the cosmos journey to the cosmos of the soul. So 18. Okay, these are meditation cards, it's called. Okay. So, keywords: inner strength, inner fire, self-passion, DNA recalibration. Whoa, recalibration of the DNA. So if you're looking at this, think about how is your DNA being recalibrated. Your inner landscape, both physical and metaphorical, contains the keys to who you are and how your soul's journey is destined to unfold. It is a world unto its own, in constant ebb and flow, cells regenerating, cells dying. Electronic energies pulsing and transforming. This card asks you to sense with each of your senses and beyond the expansion of your inner cosmos, your own unique soul self. Sense it in the flow of your blood throughout your entire physical being and in the complex function of your organs. Sense it to your energetic field, through the palms of your hands, soles of your feet, to the outer limits of your auric field, and then beyond. Embody your being fully, for it is only when you own every single aspect of yourself, seen and unseen, mind, body, spirit, that you can truly be who you're meant to be. Wow. Whew, yes, I love these cards too. They're very poignant for right now, aren't they? Okay, this one is birthing the new. And I apologize again. That's number 5, 23. That's my wedding anniversary. 23rd, 23. So I hope I'm reading smooth enough for you guys, because I know it's something you may need to go back and listen to. And I apologize. Okay, so birthing the new. Keywords: connection, birth, new life, emotional support, gestation, fertility. This card asks you to birth into the being of the new idea, concepts, and aspects of self. You are entering a new fertile phase of your life. Something new is about to be conceived and birthed, which contains your own unique signature, not something that is a copy or variation of what someone else has done, but something uniquely yours. This is a gift you have brought with you in this life to share with humanity and at this time. It's time for you to understand that your abilities and gifts are as great as anyone else's has to offer. It may not be something huge in terms of what you are used to. It may even just seem to you to be inside, might seem to you be insignificant, but it will have an impact on both your life and the lives of others. However, for it to be long lasting, it needs to be in harmony with the laws of nature, supportive of life and growth on this earth. When you birth in the new in this manner, not only this world, be the entire universe expands and supports your growth. Ain't this picture amazing? Because that's exactly the new growth we're going into. It's time for us to be our truer self. Now, does that mean that at the end of the day, you're not sitting on the couch tired and wrung out? No, it means that you can. It means if you struggle getting out of bed in the morning because the energies are so just so thick, we're going to still be human going through this process. But what is our perception? What is your perception of your reality? Because I can tell you this morning, I kind of didn't want to get out of bed. I kind of didn't spend a whole lot of time giving myself time to get out of the house. But I can tell you, by the time I got up, did my intuitive, my frequency work that I talked about in this show, and I walked out in the rain and saying, thank you. I'm grateful for being alive. I'm grateful for my reality. And I'm grateful for you, my universe of love. Gratitude is huge right now. Love, self-love is so huge right now. With grace and ease. Ask for grace and ease because that's the time we're in. I hope today was your show. Remember, your truth is your truth. This is just a perspective to help you walk forward. Remember, if you didn't align with something, that's okay. Put it in your back pocket. Maybe carry it around a little while and see. Maybe next week or 3 weeks from now, you might see something that happened to this. We're coming into a big, heavy shift. If you need to take a nap in the middle of the day, take a nap. If you need to give yourself grace, I almost called out on Tuesday because I just felt off. But I'm glad I didn't because I needed to be where I was because a couple other people did. That's why I was told to get up and go to work. So honor yourself. And the cards I just read are Visions of the Soul, Meditation, and Portal cards by Kim Dreyer. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Please like, share. If you know somebody else who can use the show, share it. Please remember that you are so loved, and love needs to start with you. So look in the mirror and remembering that the mirror is a dimensional shift, like I heard somebody else say. And remembering that when you say it in the mirror, you're saying it to a lot of you, so it can be said back to you. What dragon card was mixed in? Let me go to that one. It was Harmony. Harmony. Do I have time? I don't have time to read, but it was Harmony. Ask for harmony. Thank you for asking that, Paula. I really appreciate that. I would have overlooked that, so I appreciate that. Harmony. Let me see. Actually, let me see how. Two. Let me see how long it is. Harmony's statement is Harmony. I'm gonna just read the quick little blurb. That's what I'll read. Tomorrow is a new dawn, and being in our heart center ripples out with positive effects. Harmony. And our wings are in a heart. So, as much as you physically can, be love. And if you can't, remember, you're perfectly imperfect for that day, and do the better you can in the vibration that you're at. Because I can tell you, oh my gosh, the energies are wow. They're just wow. They're just wow. My love is with you. Remember, please like, share, support. If you need some support during this, I have time in my schedule for sessions. Blessed be to you, and remembering you are the miracle in the works. So be your miracle in your personal walk. Blessed be. I will be on next week talking about, not too sure yet. The universe hasn't told me yet. So see you next week at 4 o'clock Pacific time on my YouTube channel, Natasha Venter IC. And if you want to watch some other little short videos, I'm on social media everywhere, Natasha Venter IC. Blessed be. Bye now. Thank you.